Welcome to Joe Sports Channel. You can follow me on Joe the Fighting Jay on Instagram. You can follow me on Taker Devil One, hashtag Joe Sports Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, it is June 6, 2020, 10:31 p.m. Eastern Time, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic Saturday evening. Now we have someone else on air with us, the one and only from Vancouver, British Columbia, Sullivan. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay, Joe. Thanks for having me, man. That's a lot of excitement, my friend.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you to be on my show for the first time ever.
You got so excited. I think you even slipped on my name.
I think I did. Yeah. Let's do it again. Sullivan, is that right?
No, Sicilian.
Sicilian. Okay, Sicilian.
You know what it is. You know what it is. When you're doing these kind of broadcasts, it's here, and it causes a block. You know what it is. You've never had problems with my name before.
I'm excited for tonight. You know, how you been? How's things going?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Another day. I'm blessed to be here. Another day.
I'm blessed for you to be on my podcast, man. It is a blessing and honor. Now we got to get into business, man. Tell me about yourself. You know.
Well, you know, I'm an older gentleman. I'm in my 60s. I won't. Only my hairdresser knows for sure. But you know, I've been around the block a few times. I lived a really tough life with my parents. My parents, you know, they were Sicilian. It was their way or the highway, and my dad ruled with a steel thumb, so to speak, instead of a steel fist, a steel thumb. Anyways, you know, I've had a good life. I can't say I've had a bad life. I mean, there were some tragedies in my life, and I've come to this point, and I have to truly say that I am blessed to be here. I've got a litigation background and an investigative background. I've been in that field for about 40 years plus. You know, so I specialize in investigating fraud, and then of course, you know, the hardest part of it is how do you recover from fraudulent issues? How do clients recover? Where you have to have ways of finding where the assets were, or an audit trail if you're lucky enough to find where the assets went in order to enforce and recover for your client. So that's basically my background in terms of what I've done for a living. And I'm originally from Central Canada. And then I decided after many years of not living at home, certainly not by my choice, but I decided to go out west. And I thought, you know, I'm going to make my home out west. And that's exactly what I did. And when I put my mind to things, Joe, and I wanted to learn something, whether I understood it or not at the time, I was like a sponge. And I still am somewhat. However, you know, if I can just indulge a little bit to tell you of a situation that happened to me approximately 12 years ago.
Absolutely.
I was mandated to hire a lawyer for the Vancouver operations for out west for the Pacific region. I was formerly the vice president of special services and litigation for the Pacific West Coast for this company. But they sent me to Central Canada to open up a shop there. And in the interim, we needed a lawyer for the Western operation. So I began the process of sending requests out there in the big world for somebody who was capable of handling our litigation. And I had flown to Vancouver, and I stayed with my godmom, who I lost a year ago, May 20th. And people that know me, I've shared my videos, singing with my godmom and all of the above. But I ended up staying at my godmother's place because I was the type of guy that I didn't need to be put up at a nice hotel, even though the company was more than willing to do that. So I stayed at my godmom's place. Why? Because the food is free and it's fantastic. And I'm with my godparents. And I remember, interviewing about 6 lawyers. And finally, after 3 days, I was going to hire a particular lawyer. I got up at 5 o'clock that morning. I remember that morning so well. And I was taking a shower, and then I thought, because I'm in this bathroom that I'm not really familiar with, and I wanted to use this bathroom because it was away from where my godparents were sleeping, and I didn't want to disturb them at 5 in the morning. So I laid my towel on the closest counter, which was a sink right next to a bidet. Believe it or not, this house has a bidet. If anybody knows what a bidet, it's the Europeans.
They're cheap.
So, I finished my business and I go to reach for the towel, and it was just millimeters away from my reach. I just barely could reach the fabric. I could feel the fabric, but not enough so I took that one little step, and it happened. I fell, and the impact was just so tragic that I ended up with the bridge of my nose hitting the edge of the bidet and snapping my neck backwards. And when I hit, the only thing I remember was an electrical charge going through my entire body, and nothing else, just an electrical charge through my entire body. And then all I heard was my name and banging on the door. And here I was in a pool of blood, totally unable to speak. I don't even know how I managed to get up, but I was so, I was just in a very dark place at that time, but a place that I didn't want to come back. But if I hadn't heard my godmom, I would have probably not have survived. I somehow was able to pull myself up. I remember with my right arm, I pulled myself up, and I went to the door, and I couldn't open the door, and I had to somehow open, and which I did. And the next thing I remember was I was at the hospital, and I could hear fast track them. I see all these lights going, and it's like your life flashing before you. And before you know it, I went out, and then I came back, and it was a few hours later, and I saw 2 people in my room. I knew one was my cousin. I couldn't make out who the other person was. And I was on a breathing apparatus because my spinal cord was crimped by my C6 and C7 disc. And so I was having problems breathing on my own. Believe it or not, without your spinal cord, you can't do shit. Excuse the expression.
No,
you can't do anything, and it's connected to your brain. It helps you breathe. It flows the blood through your body, all of the 9 yards. So anyways, to make a long story moving forward, I was stuck in intensive care for about 3 weeks, and then I ended up going back to my godmom's. I was there for about 3 weeks as well. So for almost a month and a half, 2 months, I was away from home, and I had really a lot of difficulty with my mobility. I got what was called a center coop type of brain injury, where there's a significant impact that causes the brain to slam up against the skull wall. And it's a feeling that I can't really explain, other than my entire balance, my speech. I even today have problems sometimes with speech. If I get a little pissed off, which I do, when I can't figure things out, I get pissed off. But and that's part of the condition of a brain injury, is that you get anxiety and you get moods, you get angry. And it's something that I've been working on for the last few years. And it seems like with age, I'm having trouble controlling my anger. But I was concussed for about 18 months. I went to speech.
Now, before you had this fall, did you have trouble speaking, or
absolutely not? Absolutely. I ran a I would say a portfolio worth $800 million for the entire company, and I ran a team of lawyers across Canada. And the lawyers that I would pick were boutique lawyers that specialized in a certain process in law for that province. So imagine myself, I had to know the laws in every province. So I was a boutique litigator giving instructions to these high profile lawyers, and this is what I needed them to do. So I knew the process. So I was like a veterinarian, because laws are different across Canada. For instance, in Ontario, it's the Superior Court of Justice, whereas in Vancouver, the same court or the same hierarchy would be called the Supreme Court of British Columbia, as opposed to the Superior Court, like they say in Ontario. So, I had to know all these things. So after the fall, I completely forgot everything. I forgot a lot of things in my life that existed. And even to this day, I found out about 3 months ago that I was the best man to my first cousin's daughter's wedding, and I had no idea that I was.
Applause to you, my friend.
And how that came about, I said, you didn't have to ask for me to come here. And she says, well, how could we not ask you to come? You were our best man. And I looked at her and I went, what do you mean I was your best man? And of course, they were shocked that I had completely forgotten that I was their best man. And it's the truth. And it was some of these things, and my injury happened over 11 years ago. I just found this out. So there's a lot of stuff that I've missed. There's a lot of stuff that I've lost. And of course, after being concussed and going to speech therapy, walking therapy, I mean,
as well?
Well, yeah, I couldn't walk. My balance was gone, Joe. Don't forget the head injury. I had a vestibular damage to my brain, and also an ocular trauma to my brain. So when you have both vestibular and ocular damage to your brain, it's the act of having balance to walk, and of course, all of the things that come with the ocular, which is anxiety, anger, your mood disorders, all of these things mixed in and ingrained into which is now your disability. So of course, I remember halfway through this and going, I was going for electro. They were sending electric charges to my spine to try to get the nerves to wake up, and it was working, but it wasn't. And I finally went and visited my neurologist in Vancouver. Very nice Chinese lady, doctor. And the last words she said to me was, go home and live your life, Mr. Antonio. Go home and enjoy your life. And I thought, are you kidding me? From inside, it just ripped me apart. I thought, here I am, a vibrant businessman, successful, property owner, hotel owner, nightclub owner, restaurant owner, all of these things, and I'm losing these things as I'm going through trying to, take care of myself because I couldn't run my business anymore. I was a CEO of my own business. I couldn't run it anymore. I had to kind of walk away from it and let things fall where they fell. I had to deal with debt issues, legal issues. I also was going through a divorce at the time.
Oh,
So all of these things, took a while for them to correct themselves. But, when I went back to work almost 2 years later, I couldn't believe it, Joe. I had no clue what I was doing. I had absolutely no idea looking at these affidavits and contracts and the things that I used to be able to look at and pinpoint where the money was, where the risk was, and what the next step was. I had absolutely no clue. So I went back and the insurance company said, all right, you're going to go back and you're only going to work 10 hours a week. I used to work 15, 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
But, I'm not complaining. 60 hours a week for me was a walk in the park. Yeah, I'd be brain dead when I'd get home at nights. And that's all I did is work, sleep, and go back to work again. But as things progressed, I phoned my boss, Lionel, who was very close to me. He was one of the owners. And at the time, we had 1,200 employees. And I said to him, I said, Lionel, I'm a risk for the company. I can't do this. He said, no. You're going to do this. We got your back. You're going to do this. Well, thank God I had a good team of employees that I treated like people. And my employees made a ton of money. There wasn't one of my employees that didn't make high 5 figures, low 6 figures. And they loved me to death. And they made a lot of money for the company. They made a lot of money for me. And I was always there for them. And I put a lot of money in their pockets. But at the end of the day, these were the people that got my back in terms of the process. And they were looking over my shoulders to make sure that everything that I was doing was kosher. And it took about two more years before I started getting the hang of it and started doing it myself. And then by that time, we were bought out and I was out of a job. So, considering, and I mean, I would go to family functions and I could hear people talking about me. And they were going to say, that guy there, that's Maria's son. He had a terrible fall. He's not going to make it. I could hear my aunt, my mom's second oldest sister, saying, he's going to die. It's just a matter of time. And you know what? I ended up gaining some 75, 80 pounds. My waist went from 34 inches to 46 inches.
Hey, you're eating good food,
Well, the thing is when you can't move and you can't exercise,
Sure.
and you're basically bedridden, you can't do anything. You can't feed yourself. All of these things I was learning how to do over that period, and I gained an excessive amount of weight.
Like a baby, going back to when you're
Pardon me?
younger.
Yeah, it's like starting all over again. It's like starting all over again. So you know what? When I think of myself today, and I think of all the other stuff, the peripheral stuff, the divorce, and not getting along with this person, or that person there is a hater, and the more important thing was that I had to get better. There was a wellness, and I needed to get better. And when I walked out of that doctor's office, and she said to me, "Go live your life."
I want to stop that for a sec. How could she say that to a human being? go live your life. It's like saying, go live the last of it.
Deep down, Joe, I wanted to grab her,
So yeah,
but it was from inside. There were so many events leading up to that discussion that there were things I wanted to say, but I couldn't communicate. I was basically trapped inside this body that was damaged. My body was damaged. My brain was damaged. I had uh, a long process ahead of me that could go either way. That could go either way. I could either die of depression, and I used to smoke, I used to drink, I used to do all kinds of crap. That fall knocked a lot of sense into my head. It really did. But it was also very dangerous because I could have died on the spot. And I thank my godmom for it. And then the irony of it is that on May 20th of last year, she died in my arms. So she took her last breath with me. And
how old
I
was
remember she lived a good life. She was 95. And I said to her, don't you leave me now, Zia. Zia is auntie or godmom. Don't you leave me now, Zia. Don't you leave me now. And the one thing, and it's the first time it's ever happened to me, that I saw a person's white of their eyes turn completely black. It was almost demonic to see a human being's eyes, the white of their eyes dissipate. They turned completely black, and the life in her body left. And it was the weirdest feeling of calm and quietness, but I could tell something was in the room. I felt something in the room. And prior to her dying, minutes before she died, she looked over my shoulder as I held her because she was coughing really, really badly. She was coughing. And I was trying to comfort her. And she looked over my shoulder and she went, Mama, Mama. She was calling her mom. And I kept saying to her, your mom's not here. When your mom comes for you, you'll know. But it was minutes later that she passed away. So, I am blessed. I am. Some people have said to me, that is a blessing. You were the last person. She was the person that baptized you, and you were there to witness her last breath in life. And you loved her, you sang with her, you entertained with her. She was there for you. I loved her like my mom. She was more my mother than my mother was. I hate to even say that, but I never lived for many years with my mom. I lived with her. I stayed with her. I saw her every day. So, I really have to say that I'm blessed considering that I'm here right now. I am living proof that when a doctor says there's nothing else we can do, and they're being compassionate. They're being compassionate. And all of the medical records I was diagnosed by a company out in Ontario called First Doctors Inc. They are a professional firm that work for the biggest insurance companies in Canada. And First Doctors Inc., what they do is they analyze people that are hurt, like me.
Where are they located? Toronto?
They're in Toronto.
I think I heard of that place before.
First Doctors Inc. And the report from First Doctors Inc., and he was an Austrian doctor who specifically dealt with spinal injuries. I was even told a year after my injury, I needed spinal surgery. And I needed to go for this surgery, and that there was no guarantee that I could walk. But that's the risk that I would have to take. And I was in severe pain. I was taking some very, very, very powerful drugs. And as we know it today, that's where a lot of the opiate crisis come from, is people that are medicated that finally don't get that medication, but they need a high, so they go to the street and they end up buying fentanyl. So, I don't know how I never did that, but I can tell you one thing, that years and years of taking medication did hurt me. But I am living proof today that I am a strong bull. I've got a mind of steel. I love people. As a matter of fact, I learned how to sing as a result of my injury. So I can sing.
You can sing on
Well, that we'll probably have to do that on another segment. But I was a professional drummer before the injury, and I sat on a set of drums. I'm not 100%, but you know what? For a guy my age, boy, can I make those skins sound really good. For a guy that doesn't play it all the time and so forth, I'm really truly blessed, and I got a lot of good people and supporters around me. Even with my regular life is my regular life, I got some really, really good people that I could go to that if I need them. And, I truly believe that everybody needs somebody in their life that they can go to. And I'm blessed that I have at least 2 or 3 people that I can go to and look for advice and look for a decision and get raw to the core a response that is from somebody's heart. And they're also very educated and high up there. I got a friend in Hamilton, I'll say his name, Doug Burns. Not only does he have his own practice, Burns Associates, but he's also a Superior Court judge. And him and I talk quite often, and we have some interesting talks. And so, it's people like that I look up to. And of course, Joe, I've got people that call me, and, I got a couple of guys that call me that from time to time, they will only trust a guy like me. Because I'm going to tell you whether you like it or not, I'm going to give you the straight goods. Might not be what you want to hear, but why would I want to tell you something that you want to hear but not tell you the truth? That certainly doesn't make me a good person.
But unfortunately, we have a lot of people out there who are like that, who like to make stories up. But you're an honest human being, and you've gone through a lot. Now, Going back to your story 11 years ago, that fall, did you ever have any confidence, any chance of you saying to yourself, you're going to go back to where you started? Or you just kind of said, you just kind of just laid back and whatever happened?
In the beginning, yeah. In the beginning, I thought for sure my days were numbered in the beginning because the trauma was so intense. The fall was so tragic and so fast. I'm not a tall person, but imagine falling from 5.5 feet with your head first onto the bridge of your nose on an edge of the bidet that's on a concrete floor. It's not going to move. If anything's going to give, it's going to be your nose and your neck. And to my surprise, I didn't lose a tooth. However, I had to have nose surgery because I crushed my septum. I probably was going to look like a unicorn because of the way I hit that bidet, that my nose would have went up to the top of my head. I'm surprised.
Pinocchio. Remember Pinocchio?
But you know what? Truthfully, Joe, in the beginning, I thought I was going to die. There wasn't a day for weeks, if not months, that I didn't think I would pass out every day from the painkillers. I couldn't eat. I had to be fed. I couldn't eat solid foods either. It all had to be mashed up, and so it had to be pureed for the first few months. And then finally, as I started getting my strength and I started able to move and exercise, and through just the proper process of going to your doctors, going to the therapy that you were scheduled for months, I finally, decided that it was time to fight this and that I was going to get better. So, I joined the wellness center in central Canada. I started taking a product called Chlorella. I was taking 45,000 milligrams of this product a day, and it's like kelp. and it was called Sun Chlorella, and that had a lot to do with because people would say to me, oh my God, you're talking, you're walking. How did this happen? Even my doctors would say, what are you doing that is different? Why is it that we're seeing that the scar tissue is going? We noticed that you opted out of your surgery for your spinal surgery, and you're walking better, and they were doing studies and they were wondering how did all the Joe, all I can say is that it's a miracle, and it changed my life. Of course, it changed my attitude about people, and I love people. I adore people. I love
I can see
people.
her.
I even love the haters. I even love the haters, but I don't mind.
We finally have two guys who can agree on the same thing, at least,
I love the haters, man.
Life is too short to hate people. Go
That's
out there and
right.
share your feelings with other people.
Exactly. So, yeah, to answer your question, in the beginning, yes, but it was a long, tough road, about 4 to 5 years
Wow.
of working hard every day, getting back to a 34 waist. I'm now up to 36. That's better than 44. That's better than 46. I had it depends, either between 44 and 46 waist.
That's how
Yes.
much gain you weight? You gained?
Yes. I was 200. I was 200 and just under 260 pounds.
Wow. And what are you at today? June 6th. Wow.
I am down. I am down to 215 pounds of solid 215 pounds. You would never think that I weigh 215. I'll look at a guy that's 6'5" and I go, 185, 190. He goes, yeah, 190. So how much do you think I weigh? And they're like 6.5, 7 feet. Like they're like 7 feet tall. They look like they're 7 feet tall. That's because I'm so bloody short. But I'm heavier than they are, but they can't believe that I am heavy.
Yeah, you don't look 250. You look like you're 175, 180, like my grandfather.
That's what people say. I'm 215.
Wow.
I stay around I went down to 185 during my routine of working out, and then I put this weight back because I stopped going to the gym and I started working harder, and I started spending more time sitting down, because that's what I do is I make my money sitting down at a desk and looking at data and looking at paperwork and calling the shots from my desk. And that's not healthy. So I've got to get back into, I'm not a spring rooster either. So I've got to start taking care of myself, because otherwise I'm going to run into some problems. And I don't, I'm not ready to go yet. I came back with a vengeance, but I'm not finished yet. I got things that I've got to do. I've got things in my bucket list that I want to take care of, Joe. And I have every intention of taking care of the certain things that I have in my bucket list to make them actually happen. And you know what? It's a blessing to be here in your broadcast. I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for the fact that I came back. I'm living proof that you can come back.
11 years later, June 6th, 11:03 p.m. Eastern time.
Living proof.
You probably said to yourself, 11 years ago, I'm probably not even going to podcast anymore. But hey, things change and God is with you.
Yeah.
I want to pray on for 1 minute. I want to pray for you and for your family and everyone out there. I just want to take a moment of silence praying for you, because you know what? That is unbelievable. 11 years later, look who you are. I would never guess anything was wrong with you ever in my life. So I respect you like my own grandfather and my family.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Of course.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Dear Lord, to Sicilian, may God be with him for the rest of his life.
الغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم.
My prayers are with you, Sicilian. And
Thank
God
you,
is-
Joe.
anytime, and the angels are with you, man. God gave you another opportunity in life. And
Absolutely.
my brother had 5% chance of making an operation, and anything is a miracle. Everything is in God's hands, and God put you on this planet for a reason, and to come on my show tonight and to share that story. That is absolutely terrific. I can't be more honored and thankful for you having me on. Having you on here tonight. Seriously.
Appreciate that, Joe. And you know what? I've just got to say to the people that support me on Live Me, the number of people.
Live Me, yeah, an app Live Me. We met. We didn't get into that.
Yeah, and that's where we've met. And I've been there now for 2.5 years broadcasting, and I've got a really strong supportive group. And I can't say all their names right now, but I just want to let them know that I am so blessed to have them in my corner, supporting me, and they've always been there for me through good times, through bad times, and they've been such great supporters. And I wouldn't be as successful in any way under that particular app without those people. So I thank each and every one of them personally. I just want to convey my personal thanks to each one of them for their support up to this point in time.
We have a really nice comment. If you wanna, it's a beautiful thing. No one can take better care of you but you. And
For sure, Noel.
Yourself, physically and mentally good for you. And we have a really nice one. Another one. That's a really nice one to hear from Jessica. That's Noel's girlfriend.
Thank you, Jessica.
There's a lot of people out there that are gonna reflect on this show and take every positive thing from this and move forward. See, always negativity turned into positive, and believe me, Sicilian, I really can be thankful after hearing that story. Like, I can imagine what you've gone through. Now, sitting today at your beautiful house, I love your background with all the different colors, rainbow colors. What do you sit at? 100%, 90%, 80%, or are you just?
That's a good question. That's a good question, Joe. I would say probably 90%. There's some days where, let's face it, some days are not good days. You wake up and you know already that it's not a good day. So you got to be careful when the brain's not thinking faster than the mouth. Sometimes you can say things that you shouldn't say.
Absolutely.
So I've always taken the step that when I wake up and I know it's not a good day, I can tell by my pain or just things don't seem right. I can tell, I can feel. So, when my body talks to me like your body talks to each one of us,
Absolutely.
Your body does talk to you, and then you know that you've just got to make the best of it. You really got to make the best of it. Just because, I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to your medical practitioner. I used to go to a doctor once a week, and if it wasn't once, it was 2 to 3 times a week to different doctors, because this one handles the nerves, this one handles the spine, this one handles your brain. I mean, you're seeing all kinds of people, and it's the end result is when you see all these people, there's this confusion about, are you ever going to get better? And of course, you tend to make your own bad energy inside. You create that bad energy. Nobody else does. Doesn't matter what anybody else says or does, because they're going to say it regardless. So you've got to love yourself and know that you're prepared to look after yourself. And that's what I did. I didn't do anything different than that. Thank you, Melanie. I love you too, girl. but just because somebody from a professional status says, go home, you know what? If she hadn't said that, I probably would have died. Think about it. It's what she said that really enraged me from within. And I thought, wait a minute. I'm not that person. I'm not the person that goes and hides under a rock to die. I'm not going to do that. And I did the total opposite. I pushed myself and I prayed and I asked the Lord to give me the strength. I didn't want to go. I had my kids were too young. I had a mortgage, I had a home, I had a family. I mean, I had a lot of things that I still needed to do. And that just made me do the opposite. That made me push as much as it hurt. I did it. I'm living proof that I did it. And I'm telling you that if you ever get in a situation in where your life, where you think it's just, this is the end, I can't handle this, the pressure's gotten to you, you want to take, and take away what your parents gifted you with, and that was the breath of life, and you want to take it away because things are just that bad. Believe me, it's never that bad. It's never that bad. If I can overcome what I overcame, anybody can overcome their issues. It's all here. It's all here.
Here
And in here. And you have to love. You have to love thyself. Love the Lord. You really have to bring him into your heart. I mean, this is not a religious broadcast by any means, but I just want people to know that before my fall, God wasn't in my heart. After my fall, God was in my heart. He was there. He was there for me. I can't explain it. I can't explain it any more than that, yeah, he's there. And believe me, when I do things that are not right, I hear him talking to me. And, he always talks. He always talks to me.
Great.
He always talks to me.
And you got to do one thing in life. You got to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love other people?
Absolutely.
I even wrote it down. I said, life is too short. Enjoy your days, laugh at every chance, cry only if you must, and never let others bring you down. Don't let anybody put you down. I don't care if it's your family member or your best friend. Don't let anybody put you down, because the moment when people put you down, that's when you lose confidence in yourself. And Sicilian, he didn't lose any confidence. The confidence that he got was down here, is up to the mountain where the Lord wants it to. And and God help you and God bless you with everything. And I wish you 100 more years of this beautiful society and beautiful world for you to come. You have a lot to accomplish still, my fellow Canadian brother from Vancouver, British Columbia. You're such a well-dedicated person. And, going back to, you said you're a private investigator. How long have you been a private investigator for?
Probably going on about 25 years.
5 years. And do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy doing that? Are you having struggles more?
Even though I'm semi-retired, I still get. I just got one yesterday morning. This COVID-19 issue has really slowed down the industry generally, and let's face it, it's slowed down the entire world. So, even for me, my contracts were suspended on March the 18th, My main contract, I just spoke with the people that I deal with out of Edmonton, and they're telling me that things could go back to normal by the end of June, first part of July. The only thing that has changed is, how close do you get to somebody? In my line of work, you don't want to be seen, but there are times where you have to be seen, and there's things that have to be done. So there's a process. So we have a meeting next week where we're going to go over what it is that I can, what I can't do, the handling of documents. When do I wear a mask? Am I handling these legal documents, with due care by using gloves? Are they in a sealed package when I'm finished reading? Are they stored for more than 72 hours without anybody touching them? There's all these things that I would never have thought in a million years that I would have to be now concerned about. But you know what? If the billion-dollar brands that want to use my services through my contract, I have to then abide to what they want with how I handle their documents. So, there's a lot of changes, and there's a lot of retrofitting going on with many different businesses that are putting them out of business. They just can't afford the retrofitting. And, we're gonna, I'll make a prediction, but I'm not Don Cherry or anything like that, but
you look like Don.
Because Don makes some pretty good predictions, and he's pretty much on the money. Like him or hate him.
I like the guy,
but not that he would care if you hated him. But I like Don Cherry, and we're gonna see a lot more bankruptcies. I'm really worried about the second wave.
I am too.
I'm very concerned about it. And I do follow the statistics. I try not to. I'm a statistic type of guy. You got. I'm a statistical type of guy. I have to. It's just so that I'm in the know.
Here, us Canadians, we acted a lot quicker than the Americans, and just looking at the death rates, compared to the U.S. and Canada. We're doing pretty good, actually. I know we have 34 million, 35 million. We're like California, all of California, and United States is getting hit hard, and they're 10 times bigger than us, right? But we have 7,773 deaths. I'll tell you right now that 7,773 deaths. Most of the people come from Ontario. Because you look at Vancouver, the cases down there, I never heard any cases. Maybe one, maybe two. I have never heard over 100. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but as far as I know, I think Vancouver's doing very good.
Yeah, we're crushing that. I mean, if you understand graphs,
yes,
and it peaked, and now it's just been steadily going down. Like yesterday, we had one death and one new case, and in BC alone, we've got a total of 2,632 people that have been diagnosed with the COVID virus, and 2,272 of them, of the 2,632, recovered. So, there's still 360 people that have not recovered. But, we're working on it. Joanne. Thank you, dear. Joanne's also one of the people at Live Me.
Yeah, that's why I put it up there. She's a great person. Now, do you think we're opening up very quickly, Americans and Canadians? Because I heard in the next couple of weeks, maybe a month, that the border will be opening. Now, Canadians don't want that, but the Americans want that. Do you think we're just acting very quickly, reopening everything? Or do you think this is just going to be, you die, you live, you live. It's going to be like a normal thing, the new world. What do you think yourself?
Well, I'm not an expert at these things, but I do know, I do know one thing, that opening up the borders, I think, would be a detriment to the hard work that we've done so far with dealing with this virus. Let's face it, we've lost a lot of lives here in Canada, and I think the last time I checked, it was around 7,800 people died in all of Canada, and there's over 95,000 cases that have been confirmed. But of the 95,000 cases, 50 somewhat thousand, 53,000 have recovered. So the last thing I want to see happening is that the borders do open up. Not that, I think that our neighbors are going to infect us, but it just opens up a lot of risk that I would sooner, until there's a vaccine, which could be years away. Don't listen to all this other hogwash that we see on the internet that there is a vaccine and there's a fix. This is going to take years. And in the meantime, we can maybe become, somewhat immune to the virus, because you can get the COVID virus in a small factoring aspect and fight it. A lot of us have probably had the virus and have beaten it. God, I got so sick in November that I looked at my wife and I said, this doesn't make sense. I feel ill.
Last year, before going to Nova Scotia, I had a virus. I don't know what kind of virus, but I was sick and the symptoms were the same thing.
Yes.
My mom the other day, my dad and my grandparents and my family coming in for a barbecue. It was a great dinner, a nice steak dinner we had. I have to bring that up. I was telling them, remember last year? I was like, yes. They're saying, yeah, that could have been COVID. Who knows? You know what I mean?
You don't know. You don't know.
I wasn't sure if I was going to even make it on the airplane. But when I got to the airplane, I felt better. I got some antibiotics. I went to Nova Scotia. I went to the Halifax Mooseheads game. I had an amazing time. But I'm just saying, I could have had the virus. I could have it now. You could have it. People could. We just don't know. You know what I mean? We just don't know.
Well, we could be carriers. This
is what I'm concerned about. This is is coronavirus, is it just a new thing, or has it been there for years? And I'm going to bring someone on, Noel Jr. He's originally from New York City, but he lives in DC right now, and he's a great guy, and he works in the paramedic field, and he'll tell you his thoughts. Good to have you, Noel.
What's going on, Noel? How you doing?
Good.
So, so you're talking about the COVID? What do you want to know?
We're just discussing going back to last year. I was sick like a dog. I couldn't move. I was taking bath with Epsom salt, and that could have been corona. How long has corona been there for? Is it a new thing, or is it just one of those things that it's called the coronavirus today? You know what I mean? Just kind of concerned.
Some people have been saying, and we don't know how true it is, but some people have been saying that it possibly could have been around November of last year. But there's ways to figure out if you did have it. You go and you get the asymptomatic tests, and you also go to see if you have the antibodies. If you have the antibodies already, that means that at one point or another you did have it. That it's not saying that you never had it, that you just have the antibodies. No, if you have the antibodies in your system that fight off COVID currently, it's because at one point your body had the coronavirus, and now you are able to fight it off easier than anybody else.
I think you're right there, Noel.
You can go get tested. They'll do a blood test, or they'll do it's more a blood test than anything, but they'll do the blood test to see if you have the antibodies.
Because I took some antibiotics last year, and it helped. You know what I mean? And I had all the same symptoms. I told my mom the other day, Mom, same symptoms with the coronavirus. She says, yeah, I remember that. So
see, I didn't take any antibiotics.
You're natural.
I went to the bitter end, and I actually crawled into that doctor's office, and I said, I think I got pneumonia, and I can't shake this cough, and my chest is hurting. High fever, the whole 9 yards. And I had it for about 3-4 weeks. And then he gave me a prescription for antibiotics, and I have never taken antibiotics that I can even recall, going back to the days where I got injured. But I've never taken a flu shot. I just refuse it. And then I felt the next day, my chest felt a little better. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to go and fill this prescription. I'm going to wait another day. Probably not the right thing for me to do at my age, but I did. And then all I had was a cough for about 9 weeks. I had this blasted cough that I couldn't shake for 9 weeks after that. So for about 4 months, I was sick. Like first in the beginning with this chest cold, fever, and then the coughing for another 2 weeks. I was probably ill for like 4 months, and I've never, ever been that ill where I had problems breathing. I was out of breath. I was tired. And I mean, I was sick. My lungs were full of water. I thought, oh shit, one more ounce of water, I'm going to die. But you know what? I somehow pulled through it. Here I am again. Here I am again. The Sicilian lives on.
There you go. That's all you have to be is a fighter and a warrior.
Damn right. We are all warriors in our own right. That's where we came from, men. I don't care. You know what? Ladies are not warriors. They are lovers, and they are our keepers. We are warriors. That's where we came from. That's the root, man. We're fighters. It's inbred in us. We are who we are because that's I can't even bring it to any other terms other than that. You know, we are all warriors. We came from that. We came from
we're all God's children, and we all came, women, men, children out there. We're all warriors in some way, and we all have a talent in some way. This is what the beauty about life is, humanity. The other day, I don't remember exactly the same words, but they said about humans in life. It doesn't matter if you're female or male. We are all warriors somehow. It could be something little, it could be something big, but we still have that warriors in us. Now, Sicilian, I want to get into hockey. Now,
God.
Vancouver, BC.
God, Canucks. You know what? The Canucks piss me off. They really do.
So you're telling me you're a Canucks fan?
He's from Vancouver. What do you think he's going to be?
I'm a Canucks fan, but I'm not hardcore. I wish my cousin Rosie was here. That guy has all the stats. He knows everything about hockey, and if there was, he never likes me talking bad about the Canucks, of course, because this kid, if you look at his room, everything is Canuck. He's got pictures with everybody on that team. When he goes to a game, he's a season's ticket holder, just like me. And, I don't think I'm going to, they're going to give us a refund, or we can carry it forward to the next season if they don't open up shop. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. I don't think I'm going to be a season ticket holder next year because I was really expecting a lot from the Canucks over the last 5 years. And every year I get let down.
But this year, they had a good year this year. They had a good year.
They were what? I think they were fourth in the Pacific Division this year.
In the division, and they're in the playoffs. They're in the playoff spot now. Going back to 2011.
Yeah, but look who they got to go up against. These are good teams. They're good teams there.
They should have won the Stanley Cup in 2011. What they did to Roberto Luongo.
Oh,
Good for the guy. The guy is retired now, but the Canucks should have had many Stanley Cups. Alex Burrows, Henrik Sedin, Daniel Sedin, Brian Burke. He brought those two to Vancouver. Like, you guys have so much potential, so much forward with the GMs and with everything. And you always, like my Leafs, you start strong and you finish bottom.
Hey, you know what? Toronto is probably one of my second running up teams. As a kid, before the Vancouver Canucks, my favorite team was the Toronto Maple Leafs. When Dave Keon and Unger, we're talking some way before your time, Joe. I mean, you probably weren't even thought of then. But, I'm talking about in the 60s, in the early 60s, late 50s, the Toronto Maple Leafs, where the goalies wouldn't wear any masks. And they would get hit in the head with a shot, from the blue line. You know what? There's got to be something wrong with being a goalie in the NHL in those days. Can you imagine a puck that weighs about a pound coming at you at 90 miles an hour? Holy crap! That's worse than getting hit by a Mack truck on the highway.
Well, Johnny Ballard, number 1 for the Toronto.
Yeah.
The guy every Saturday, every night, he would get hit by a puck and would get up. They were tough back. There was toughness in the teams. But today's era,
No,
they
it's
hit the
totally
ball,
different.
down.
It's
Especially
totally
soccer
different.
players. Soccer players, they will fake a fall. They will do anything. But
I
back
know.
then, they were tough. Tough like this guy right here. Number 33 from Slovakia, Zdeno Chara. You don't see too much. I'm telling you.
Is he not one of the biggest guys in the National Hockey League?
He is the tallest person in National Hockey League of all time.
He's huge.
How tall is he? How tall is that guy with his skates?
Without his skates, he is 7'3".
So he's about 7.5 feet tall when he's on his skates.
Yep.
I'm telling you, when I was in Toronto a few years ago, Game 6, I'm looking at him. He's like a giraffe. He's like an animal. I couldn't believe it. My uncle's look. Is this actually Chara? When you see him in person, you got to look like this. Like, oh, Lord, look at Zdeno Chara. Unbelievable. And look at this. Yes, he does know his facts. He does.
Well, I've been around the block a few times. A few times, not too many times.
What do you expect from Vancouver? You know, do you see them as a potential Stanley Cup team?
Maybe over the next, you know what? If they don't do it over the next couple of years, I don't think they ever will. I don't think they ever will. I don't know if, I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's the players. I think it's a combination. I think, you just got to get the bounces. And once you start getting the bounces and you get on a roll, that does something to people. It does something. I mean, I know even in business, you get a couple of good calls, good breaks, and suddenly you're on a roll. And let me tell you, nothing gets in your way when you're moving at a certain speed and your adrenaline is right up there. Your focus is second to none. And everybody is moving in the same direction, and everybody is supporting everybody. Everybody is positive. Let me tell you something, though. There's magic. There's magic that happens with teams. Whoever thought, I forget which year it was, where if I had known, and I'm a gambler, I won't lie to anybody. I love gambling. I like taking chances. But boy, I would not have minded to put $100 on who was it? It was the guys from Vegas. Is it the Kings? Or what? The team from
Knights.
Vegas.
The Knights. The Golden Knights. The Golden
Can
Knights.
you imagine the odds that the bookies were giving to that year that they won the Stanley Cup? Nobody would have ever thought. I think the odds were like 900 to 1.
To be exact, because I actually was like kicking myself in the butt. It was 978 to 1.
Thank you. So can you imagine $100? And I don't mind throwing away $100 just for the hell of it, right? $100.
But that's just like the annual thing for football with the Arizona Cardinals.
Sure.
The annual thing for a decade was, put money on the Cardinals. You put $100 on the Cardinals, you're gonna win $1 million. Somebody actually did win $1 million when they went to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Steelers, but they went to the Super Bowl.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, it's the Steelers time. Yeah.
No, but Vegas was a team that nobody saw coming. Vegas was a team nobody saw coming.
But
it was a fluke, though. It was a fluke because look what they did last year.
Noel, you call it what you want. At the end of the day, we had an entire organization that was completely psyched on winning.
Oh, yeah.
Defying all the odds, and they came out fighting and scraping and doing whatever they had to do to win, and they worked their asses off.
And that's why I said the only goalie that, and look, I got into it with somebody a couple of weeks ago about the Vegas Knights, but the reason why they had such a good squad is you had veterans on there. I mean, look who you had. You had Pacioretty, Okay, you had Fleury. You had some veterans on that first year. Last year, you were booted out in the first round.
Just going to
Yeah.
go long quickly.
Sure.
I mean, but even at that, this year they have a good squad. This year, I mean, Fleury's still doing what he has to do, but at the same time, it's like, it's like that new player that you get in. Nobody knows what to do with that new player because they've never seen him before.
That's right.
They've never seen what happened to them before. And this is, even though people know who the players are because a lot of the players came from all the other teams because of the expansion, it's a different concept because you have these new players under a new coach performing something that no one's seen before.
Mhm.
So it's like, for a lot of people, it was like that first year was like, okay, I don't know, I know you, but I don't know how you're playing right now. Like, you have a whole new concept of skills that you didn't have before when you were with this team. And it's like, right now with the Vegas Knights, people started to figure them out. People started to realize, oh, so this is what you're doing. Oh, so this is what you're doing. And like I said, I kicked myself in the butt. I wish I would have just put down that $1,000, man. I would have been $97,000 richer.
Absolutely. But let's not forget, they did have a phenomenal goalie. I mean, that goalie did keep them in there. He made
Oh,
some
yeah.
spectacular saves. I mean, there were some saves where there are just some saves that you have to shake your head and say, how in the hell?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's Fleury. That's how he did for Pittsburgh when he
Fleury was fantastic.
And that's what he did Pittsburgh when he was playing for Pittsburgh, and he wanted to show. I think that season was a season for him to say, "Okay, Pittsburgh, you wanted to get rid of me.
That's right. That's right.
Let me go. I was the one that was the cheapest one for you to get rid of. Okay, watch this." And I think that was his way of shutting them up and showing you left something
Absolutely.
that you should have let go. But don't get me wrong. I mean, who does Pittsburgh have now? Murray, and he's a beast. He's a wall.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Well, you know what? When that psyche was in Fleury's mind, and he had that psyche, you're absolutely right, Noel, that he figured, this is my debut to shine, to show Pittsburgh, you're right. You traded me. I was your weakest link according to your board. And look at me now. Look where this team is.
I think the only more gratification for him would have been, besides winning the cup, obviously, would have been that if they did win the cup, it would have been against the Penguins, and for them that would have been more gratifying because now that's a big stuff in the face of the team that lets you go. And now it's not even just a team that lets you go, like you didn't do anything for them. Fleury was their backbone for a very long time. Fleury was the reason why Pittsburgh won a lot of the Stanley Cup finals, and to let him go off an expansion to a brand new team. And nobody expected the team to be this way. Nobody expected the team to be at the top of their game that year. And when you have veterans like Pacioretty, when you have a veteran and goalie like a Fleury, you're going to get a squad that is going to listen to them because those two alone will make sure that you listen. And if you don't, they're going to have that influence on the coach. Like, okay, he doesn't want to listen, sit him down. But even at that, like your squad right now, you mean the Canucks – the Canucks they have a great chance for this first round, for the qualifying round. Because, I mean, you're playing the Wild in a best-of-3 series. And you've beaten the Wild out of 4 games, 3-1.
So now, is there talk, Joe, would you know, is there talk?
Back with no fans. They're talking about maybe July, mid-June. We're not 100% sure. Gary Bettman has an announcement in a few weeks upcoming, so I'll let you guys know. From there,
they've released the teams though that are playing each other. They've released who's playing who.
Oh, I know who they released who, but just I don't know. They don't have times or exact.
Because they're still working on one of the major problems is they're working on the hub cities. And one of the big issues is that they want to use Toronto. They want to use Toronto as a hub city, but the issue with that is that if you use Toronto as one of your hub cities, they want to make sure with the Canadian authorities that when these players come from the U.S. into Canada, that they don't have to sit in isolation for 2 weeks because they came over. So their big thing is that if Toronto isn't available, then they're going to use other facilities in the U.S. one of those facilities just definitely got knocked off the map. Like they're no longer that's no longer a possibility. And obviously, because of everything that's going on, unfortunately, in the U.S., Minnesota was that facility, and now that is completely gone. That is off the list. But I mean, you still have Vegas, you still have California, you still have. They're actually talking about using Orlando. Disney is gonna. Disney has offered up their ice rink. You know, it's gonna be a lot.
I want to talk about Vancouver a sec. The prices, and you look at Toronto, the minimum wage and everything. Look at you look at the prices. You're telling me off air, Sicilian, that the prices in Vancouver are a lot more than Toronto. And do you know what it is? Is it because the city is bigger, the province, or what?
I think it's because we have a very strong and wealthy Asian presence in our society. And let's face it,
Look at this. Like, look, the $37 monthly.
yeah,
That's a lot.
That could, to be honest, that can be just like how it is out here, where you can be
Are
in
you
Florida.
kidding? $73 monthly for internet? That's
I
average.
wish. I wish.
yeah, it's $100. I pay $100.
So what I was saying was that it can be just the cost of living just because of where you're at. You know, the cost of living in LA isn't the same as the cost of living in New York City. You know, just because it's a big city does not necessarily mean that cost of living is going to be the same. It all depends on the area. It all depends on the surrounding area with that. So I mean, with that can be a very, very big difference. But $73 for internet, I would be happy with that. 65 with internet, I would be happy with that.
Average, but you look at Toronto, you know what I mean? Like here, going back to single prices, right? You know, you got $2.40. That's what is that, a bus pass for just one?
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that the statistics right?
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay, gas. $1.40 a liter. Oh wow.
You know what? That's pretty reasonable at $1.40. I remember a few months back, I was paying $1.85. But I have a hybrid, so I'm okay. I can live with it.
Look at this. Groceries, $500 monthly. That's Toronto, 2016. They always have to bring the wine bottle. They always have to bring for some reason. I don't know what it is. They like making their money off that.
There better be some good wine.
For schools, why is Toronto a lot more?
I'm not sure.
Full day.
I'm not sure. But then again, does it talk about property taxes, Joe?
I'm looking. I don't see anything with property taxes.
Yeah, so the biggest concern that a lot of elderly people have is that they purchased their properties 50 years ago. They're now in their 80s, and while their properties might be worth $3 million, their property taxes have gone from a mere, say, $4,000 per annum to $15,000 per year. So when you say $15,000 a year and they're an elderly couple that own the house, they either got to take out a chip reverse mortgage to pay for the debt, or they just really got to downsize and get out of that house that they've lived in for 50 years that they can no longer afford to keep. It's ridiculous. Over $1,000 a month for property taxes, and you own your house outright. So now you got another mortgage. Think about it. And that's only on that's on a $3 million house, which is an average price in the core of Vancouver. You start going to Point Grey, West Vancouver, British properties, where your average price tag on a house is $5 to $10 million for starters, and there's houses there that are 30 and 40 million. You imagine what the property taxes are on those places. Unheard of. It's unprecedented.
You got something to roll?
Yeah, go ahead, put it up.
Wow. Now, Sicilian, in Vancouver, do you live? Where do you live? In kind of the mid area, you know, like okay prices, expensive, or just kind of normal?
It's expensive. It's expensive.
Look at the difference in apples and bananas for a pound.
Huh?
For a
You got-
pound, for a pound of apples compared to Canada, well, Toronto to be exact, and it's 181 in Canada, 354 in.
Holy smokes! And
That's crazy.
are complaining that bananas are expensive here. Oh boy, I'm not
Oh,
complaining.
the best
All right.
one, the
Thank
best
you,
one, the best one is oranges. Look for a pound of oranges, 172 in Canada, 342 here. That's over nine. That's over 98.54% higher than what you guys pay in Canada. And then look, transportation, one-way ticket, $325 in Canada, $369 here, which is not too bad. The only difference between you guys and us is, I guess, with us, the monthly tickets are a little bit cheaper. So where you guys pay $151, we pay $134. But most of the monthly passes placed here, they give you a discount for doing that monthly pass. Instead of you paying what it would be normally just for 30 days, they give you a discount on what it would be, period. So I know for you guys go by the liter. Here in the US they do the gallon.
Gallon, yeah.
And-
Well, gallon's a lot better.
Yeah, so for the current price right now between you guys and us is you guys pay $4.46 for a gallon, and we pay $3.77 for a gallon. So right now the average price for us is about $2.81 US, and that's the average price, but it might be actually going up.
Well,
No.
when you say the 377 per gallon, Noel, that's US, right?
No, so they have both of them. If you look on the page, the black numbers are actually translated into Canadian dollars, and the bottom numbers in parentheses, that's the US amount.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
How's the meat down there? How are the prices for the meat, like beef and chicken and all that?
I think we actually passed that.
Sicilian, is the prices in Vancouver for meat expensive or kind of reasonable?
Well, I mean, depends where you go, right? Yeah, it's very expensive. It's
So let's
ridiculous.
see. So for chicken fillets, a pound of chicken fillets, you're looking at $6.44 Canadian and $7.12 US. So averaging, we pay about 50 cents more, which is about 10%, which isn't bad. But we pay less, only about 0.5%. So maybe like a 3 cents difference in US for a pound of beef.
Okay, now you guys are starting to make me hungry.
Yeah, I'm thinking about my ribeye steak actually. But you got to think about it another way. You got to think of it another way. The American dollar is a lot hotter than our dollar. Our dollar is garbage. You know what I mean? So, like buying
look at this one. Look at this one. The fitness club.
Monthly fee for one adult? Oh, you got to be kidding me. Holy smokes.
So you're looking at 115% higher than what you guys pay a month. Over double than what you pay a month. But then the tennis court rental is cheaper, over 50%, almost 50% cheaper than what you guys pay.
Yeah.
This is only between Toronto and Washington, D.C. This isn't the whole United States. But, I mean, you can look at clothing, apartments. Look at the apartment difference. We pay, so Toronto, your average apartment is $22.41 and 39 cents Canadian.
That is ridiculous.
And if you translate the Washington, D.C. version of it, it's $31.75.63 Canadian. So we pay almost 50% higher than what you guys pay.
Yeah.
And that's for a one-bedroom inside the city center.
Yeah.
So
it's
you're
like
talking about
$900 more in Washington.
Yeah, so what they're talking about with that is they're basically saying that's when they say city center, they're basically meaning for us, it's like if you're in Washington, D.C., you're paying for an apartment that's like maybe a mile or two away from White House.
Wow, just because you're a few feet away or a few meters away or whatever.
Well, look at the price difference in 3 bedrooms that's inside the city center. Over 72%. You guys pay $34.91 Canadian. We pay.
Thank God I don't live in Toronto. I can't even afford that. And I have.
Oh, I can translate it to London if you want me to.
Oh, I know the price of London. The cheapest actually in London is my buddy actually pays for it, and I'll share it. He pays about $8.85 a month. That's one bedroom. It's a kitchen, washroom and whatever, for a one guy. But that's a great price. He's been there for over 15 years. But then you go to a nice place like around my area, like they have places up to $1,600, $1,500 a monthly, It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I just don't understand why things have to be so expensive and so pricey. You know what I mean? Back in the day,
I agree.
it never used to be that pricey, but now everything has gone up. The beef has gone up. The chicken is reasonable. You go to the United States, it's pretty good, but everything has gone up. Tickets have gone up, just everything. But we're in the new era. We're in 2020, Yeah, like look at London. Like London.
No, they put the wrong London. They put the wrong London. They put
They put London, Ontario.
I put in London, Ontario, but they put London London
England. London, England.
Yeah.
Hello, Queen. Hello, Prince Diana. Rest in peace. I hope you can hear me.
But I mean, yeah, that's what that was, and it just makes you wonder what you really see in the difference.
Hi, Dad.
What's happening, guys?
Dad's back.
What's happening?
Oh, it's better now having Bubba on the air.
Mo Meister's on the air.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
It's good to do it, man.
What's
Chilling.
going on? Coming on a little late, but have to get some stuff done. But yeah, how's it going, guys?
Going good.
Good.
Looking sharp. Joe.
Thank you. And
Nice to
Sicilian
see you.
and well, come on,
Oh no, I'm in a t-shirt. I'm relaxed. I'm chilling. I'm in a t-shirt.
I'm just in my work clothes still. Doing a lot of housework.
You ready for the Canadian Penguin battle?
Oh, that's not gonna happen, man. None of that stuff's gonna happen.
You think it's not going to be a season?
No way. It's not gonna happen, man. I tell you. I hope it does, but we'll see.
Well, they announced it,
Yeah, they can announce all they want, but for it to actually start,
The National Football League, like we said last week, they're going to play with fans, they're saying.
what's that?
National Football League. They said they're going to play with fans. I heard the other day, actually, somebody said, I couldn't believe it. They said, you die, you die. You live, you live. Like, that's ridiculous.
It's not you die. The second wave is coming, but it hasn't hit yet.
Oh no, it will be. But NBA came out officially today and say that they're going to be starting their season next month.
Yeah, they are actually. Yeah, I heard of that. With Adam
They're going to
Silver.
do 20. They're going to do 22 teams, and they're going to do basically kind of what the NHL is doing, but they're going to play basically 8 games, and then from that 8 games go into a playoff scenario where basically the season will finish off somewhere around the vicinity of Halloween. Everything the NBA Finals will be completely done by Halloween, and the new season won't start again until December. So they're starting the next season about a month and a half later.
Wow.
Now, Sicilian, in Vancouver, the Vancouver Grizzlies. Remember that? That wasn't in my time.
Oh man, you know what? I
I
went to one basketball game, and it was the Grizzlies, and I loved it. The excitement, the noise, the people were crazy, but crazy good. I thought I was in this big party. Like that's what it felt like a huge party. And I mean, it just didn't stop. It just went and went and went. And, for a lack of a better term, I think the Grizzlies really sucked.
That's why they left Vancouver.
But, it was fun. It was fun.
The fan base was awesome, but they weren't. No, you got to understand. Like, you can have a great fan base. Look at Seattle. Seattle, when Seattle had a basketball team, Seattle had a great fan base. They had fans that weren't even in their state. But when you only have one or two players that were really good, even three at that, and you can't attract any other players because nobody wants to go to Seattle. I mean, Seattle at that time was considered very boring. It's like you can have a fan base as much as you want, but for players who were like big names, like at that time, like a Charles Oakley, like a Charles Barkley, I mean, you bring them, and you tell them, "Oh, go play in Vancouver." They'd be like, "The cold."
And the National Basketball Association. Like
I remember when they brought him in. I was happy. I was like, "Ooh!"
I still get a tattoo of that right on my arm.
That's a good logo.
I remember that. I was like, you had the Vancouver Grizzlies, and then you had the Toronto Raptors come in at the same time. We were like, "Oh, Canada about to get into it."
I wish they stayed a little bit longer, like the Montreal Expos. You know what I mean?
Expos were around for a while.
And the fan base
were a great team, man. I don't know why they left. They had the fan base. They had everything.
And look where they're at now in DC.
Yeah,
they won the World Series. You know,
everything.
They
goes
just
back.
won the World Series.
What about the Raptors?
Defending champions. You know what I mean?
They're awesome, man.
They're a complete team.
What do you think,
The Raptors are a complete team. They don't need one person. Yeah, Kawhi was awesome, but they all had the chemistry. They had every single person contributed.
Absolutely.
Not like if you get rid of LeBron, the team goes downhill. Look what Golden State Warriors. Look, Golden State Warriors. Where are they now? They're all these teams that are basically a one-man team. Where are they now if they lose their star?
Yeah.
Jordan, when he left, what happened?
Of course.
Downhill.
Which is sad. But if you get a team like Toronto that sinks all together, they can do it.
And I think aside from the fact that the team sinks together, Nurse. I mean, I think he's doing what he has to do, and these players, they're supporting him, and that's what makes it complete. You know, you could have a great team. You got a shitty coach or a shitty group of guys that are running the team. You're going to run your team to the ground. They're not going to cooperate. They're not going to want to produce because they're not happy. But you're right. They're a complete team.
But you can also have a great coach, and you can have a group of good young guys, and you do have that one-star player, but that one-star player is just greedy, is a ball hog, and demanding, and nobody wants to play with him because of the way he is. That can also detriment a team also as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think there's certain dynamics that seem to blend well with some teams, and then in other cases, as you pointed out, Noel, they don't like the star player. They don't want, he's a hog, or it's all about him. And there's, I totally get where you're going with that.
Well, see, I'm not a big LeBron fan, and Joe, we had this conversation last week with everybody.
Every week we have to say.
I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I will give him credit. He is a traditional and pure floor general when it comes to being a leader. He has the ball a good amount of time, but when he sees that opening on somebody else, he's going to pass it. He's not that ultimate ball hog like he was when he was younger. Because Cleveland, let's be honest, when he was younger and he was with Cleveland, who else did Cleveland have? Nobody. It took them bringing in a whole bunch of other pieces into Cleveland, and then also having a Kyrie Irving with them for them to even win their first championship. And that's the thing. With that being said, LeBron is a great person, and a great a great player. But I just don't know. Is that Abdul Rahim? That is.
Yeah. Look, it's $119. The code is.
Yeah. Well, you might get my attention at 60 or 70% off.
You know what, Joe? Hold on. Let me see my website that you know of see if it's on there.
Is that for real? They still selling that crap?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's a lot. It's a lot. 25%.
I like how he said that. I like how he said he's like, they're still selling that crap? Like, really? That's
no, seriously. That should be at thrift stores.
That's right.
Who's going to buy that?
Well, exactly.
It's
How long
like,
have they
Exactly.
been gone for?
it's like saying players that retired. Peyton Manning, his name should be in the fifth store. That's exactly what you're trying
No,
to say.
no, no.
Come on,
Listen,
man. This is like
the franchise is gone. You
That's
know?
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
Why keep on selling that crap?
the players that you're buying, the name, like having a name of Sicilian. I would buy that jersey no problem in a heartbeat. Like the name, it's not the jersey, it's the name who actually wore that jersey.
It can be that, but even at that,
Hey, Joe, I've got to be at another engagement here in half an hour. So it usually takes me about 10 or 15 minutes to get to it. I really appreciate the time that you've extended to me to come onto your broadcast.
Absolutely.
It was very interesting. Never got to meet, is it Mo Mister?
Oh, it's just Mo, but yeah, Mo Meister is my
Mo Meister?
yeah.
Well, it's good to meet you. I'm sad that we didn't have more time to get to
Yeah.
know one another. Maybe sometime in the future,
For sure.
we could do something together. Maybe figure out a game plan as to what the discussion is to be tabled and have a good yuck about it.
Well,
For sure.
I really appreciate you, Sicilian, coming on, and it was a blessing. Thank you for sharing that story. And if you ever need anything, man, I got your back. Like I said, you're like my papa.
Appreciate that, Joe.
hey Joe,
Appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
wait before you go, Sicilian. I found it, Joe.
Did you? How much is it?
Under
Oh my
20
God.
bucks. There we go. And I said, you might get my attention at 60 or 70% off. 25% off? Nah. He must be Italian. Whoever owns that site's got to be Italian.
The Chinese.
Thank you very much, Sicilian. I really I'll talk to you soon. And hey, guys, go check out Sicilian on Live Me. I will put the link in a little bit, and I'll talk to you soon, man. We'll talk
Okay, Joe. Take care, guys, and many blessings. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys again.
You too.
Take care,
Thanks.
God bless you.
Definitely.
Cheers.
Sicilian from Vancouver, British Columbia. That was a beautiful story,
Yeah, that hit hard.
That was I will keep watching that video over and over again. I'll never get sick of it. It's like watching my favorite movie, The Hostage. That was very powerful. Those words.
Yeah, that hearing his story hit very, very hard.
That was something to witness. And how's Dad doing? What's he doing? He's playing his Candy Crush or what?
No, I'm just doing those work on my phone for a sec. I just Monkey Gigi's people want to buy stuff, so just trying to get rid of it.
Oh, advertise on here. Maybe you have some people buying on here. You never know.
Yeah.
I had one person a long time ago on a stream. I was selling one of my jerseys. Hey, he contacted me after. He found out my channel. He contacted me, came over, he gave me $50. And he left, So sometimes, advertising on here is great. Noel Jr., I was on your show last week. We were talking a lot of hockey and all this and the potential with the Rangers and all that. No problem. The New York Rangers, where do you see them today? Do you see them taking a step forward or a step back or kind of just in the same spot?
So if they start this NHL playoff that they're talking about doing, if they start it, I think we get past the Hurricanes. But if we do not play someone who is around that same skill level, if we play like the Islanders or if we play the Capitals, we're going to be getting swept. We don't have the power. We don't have the leadership like we used to anymore. I mean, Zibanejad can only do so much. Panarin can only do so much. Kranko can only do so much. And the goalies, yes, they're young and they're good, and I'm praying that they're healthy, but you can only get so much when you don't have anybody else. Mark Stahl is only so much of a defenseman. You only have a limited amount of resources with people, and unfortunately for this particular reason, I don't see them getting past after. I see them passing Carolina, but I don't see them passing anybody after that. And that's sad to say.
Maybe you can beat the Penguins. Piss
Are
somebody.
you trying to get me shot? Is that what it is? Are you trying to get me shot?
I'm just trying to see what her reaction is. Go Rangers, go with the Penguins any day. Zuccarello, my boy.
She's got that evil laugh going on right now. That's not good.
Oh, I heard her laugh before, so I can imagine what her smile is like.
No, I'm telling you, whenever our two teams play each other, we literally have to sit on opposite sides of a table. We have to have something physically between us. We can't be next to each other because we literally go at it. There she goes, she's typing. And we go at it to a point where we'll talk crap to each other. We will get at each other, especially if a goal is scored. Oh, that is a bad day.
I'm okay. I sit next to this guy watching the Montreal Canadiens. This guy's, talking trash, but he's sitting next to me. You know what I mean? But you guys are like
no, we're deep into it. We're very deep into it, and like she's a sweetheart. She's quiet, but remember what we said. It's the quiet ones you got to worry about.
Quiet but lethal, man.
We ain't even talking about the Steelers, really. We talk about the Penguins. Where'd you go
every time? But when we watch, is all business. Yeah, it's all business at the end. Yeah, I can see Noel and Jess like at a ball game or at a football game, and they're on their phone and they're like arguing back and forth. This team back. I can see them. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'll stay quiet.
Penguins, my bad. Yeah,
I'll stay quiet. I won't. Nope. I gotta go home with her. I gotta lay down with her. I am not trying to die.
I see that New York Mets hat on you. Is that the All-Star?
No, this is actually a Subway Series hat. This is when they played the Yankees in 2000.
Did you go to that?
Yeah.
Did you?
My brother got me this hat for Christmas about a year or two ago. I'm a big Mets fan. Big Mets fan. Hate the Yankees.
I heard they play 48 games talking about the Major League Baseball. That's what they're saying.
They're not going to play. This season's gone. This season's done. They can't cut, like, every single time the one side finally says, okay, we'll do this, or okay, we'll do this, the other side says, yeah, no, we're good. And like the biggest issue right now is pay. When everything started with COVID in March, the players agreed, the Players Association agreed to taking a 50% pay cut. Saying, look, we know we're not gonna make it. We know we're not gonna get a full-fledged season. We know that the season's gonna start off late. We know all that. But then now this last negotiation, the owner said, well, we want you to take another 50% pay cut. So now at this point, the players will only get maybe a quarter of what they were supposed to make for the year. And the biggest thing that's messed up about that is that you have someone who is a rookie, let's say, and they're on their rookie contracts, and you have someone who's making maybe on a rookie contract on a year $200,000, if that, on a year, and then you already said I'm going to take half of that off. Okay, $100,000. That's, mind you, this is all before taxes, and I'm going to take $100,000. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll cut it in half. We understand it. Whole 9 yards. COVID took over, and we have to sacrifice too. And now you're telling them, okay, well, now you're only going to get paid $50,000 a year, and you also still have to get that taxed. That player essentially is probably going to be making less than what, honestly, a ticket seller or a public relations person in that same organization would make in a year. And that's their biggest thing, the Player Association, and they're talking about games, but it's really about the money. The owners want money to be cut down. The owners want money to be cut in half. And the players are saying, we've already cut enough. Why do we have to keep on cutting?
That makes sense. That's really, you look at sports in general, after all, it's all business.
Oh, yeah.
But business is good. Okay. Business is good. Like they say, if a businessman can succeed in life, then you're good. Look, listen, sports, they're businessmen and they're all succeeding in life. Like you look at tickets, like $200 just for one ticket. You know what I mean? That's just crazy how much money they make, and the players get so much, money because of the fans paying for their tickets. So that's why, you see these prices up. Like you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, if you could go on Google or something and look at the cheapest single Leaf ticket. It's crazy. Me and my dad went to go to watch the Leafs game a few years ago, and he said no, it was unbelievable. It was like $425 for like the cheapest seat. Remember that? Like
Go to Montreal, man. Same thing.
I spent a lot of money in Montreal. I went to the Bell Center. Like I'll even show you. I was.
You got lucky.
Oh, I can't pull anything up on it because it won't let me.
Yeah,
It's saying here there's no sports going on right now. I know.
I'll show you something.
So cheap it. Wow. I think I might have found a new site for this, Joe.
Yeah, I'll play this video, and then you can. I had an interview with actually my uncle, Samar Deep. He's from Pickering, my aunt's husband, and this is a really good video, actually. Guys, there's nobody. This is when this was no mustache. Booney had no mustache, no nothing. Can you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have someone next to me. What is your name? Samar. How are you, Samar? Where are we today? I'm more than plus to have you next to me. We're in Montreal. You're watching the Montreal Canadiens. Against who are they playing tonight? Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay? No, Thunder Bay Lightning. Thunder Bay is in a total different province. It's in Ontario. Let me ask you a question. When I got these tickets, what went through your head at that moment? I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. Joe got the tickets? It's not real, man. It was an honor. No problem. You know what? Because you took me for Blue Jay tickets, you paid $20 for the shipping or whatever for, it's a Canada Post or whatever. So I said this to myself, you know what? I can afford a couple $100 tickets. So you can come down. We can have the Montreal. You even pick me up from Pickering, Ontario to London, and we drove back, So you deserve a couple $115. I'm coming for you. I'm not coming for the Canadians. I'm coming because of you, and I'm going to cheer for the Canadians on today. A lot of respect. Thank you, brother. And you know what? Your mother and father should be very proud to have a good son like you. May Lord give you the best blessing. And I want to tell you something, man. I believe tonight the Canadians are going to defeat the Tampa Bay Lightning because you're here and I'm here. Joe, I was wrong. When was the last time you went to a hockey game live? I'm gonna have to say about 4 years ago. 4 years ago? Was it an NHL game? Was it an OHL game? It was Toronto Maple Leafs against the Canadiens. In Toronto? So you see Montreal. So now
You should be wearing your Canadiens jersey, man. What's going on there?
I don't have a Canadian jersey.
I can get you one.
I wear my Boston Bruins jersey. That's Carl.
I can get you one.
That's Papa saying, "Hey, you go wear a Canadian jersey."
Yeah.
I'm not fake. We speak real news, real facts, sports, and I'll show you the background. Look at the seats we had. Unbelievable.
Who bought those tickets?
I did. Unbelievable.
Must
seats.
be nice.
Unbelievable seats. I thought we were sitting up there, but then when I got here, I said to myself, "These really are seats." I look at the row. Row U, 107, seat 12 and 11. This guy right here said to myself, "Joe, I can't believe he's texting his brother. He's texting everybody because he's so excited. I have never seen Samar Deep this excited in my life. This is how amazing it is. It's a blessing. Seriously, it really is a blessing. Guys, you already know. Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning. Next, check me on Joe the Funny on Instagram. Taker Devil One. We must respect them in 110%. Thank you very much. One more video before.
Thunder Bay Lightning.
That's what he said. Yeah.
You ready to see this?
Yeah.
See those prices?
I don't know if I believe the 104, the average. I do not believe that.
Where's that?
This is tickpick.com. It says
Average ticket price. That's American.
Yeah.
So that's like 175. I don't know, $175. That's not right.
Yeah, that must be a team you're playing against, like the Wild or somebody. You know what I mean? But
it
yeah,
says the cheapest ticket ever purchased was $4.
Yeah, I was back in the
No
in Toronto. The Maple Leaf Gardens was $4 for a ticket back many years ago. You know.
I went to a baseball game a couple years back, and I was on the third baseline. It was the New York Mets versus the Washington Nationals, and it was in Nationals Park. I paid for 2 tickets. I paid like $23, right on the third baseline. Right on the third baseline. I was like, "How did I get this lucky?" And I would find sites that would do cheap tickets like that and just let me sit there for that amount of time. Trying to see if I can find the picture so I can show you how close I was.
I wanna put this up because I want to thank my friend yesterday, Abdul Nagmouche, for making this thing for me. This is absolutely.
Yeah, that was cool.
Alhamdulillah, I'm living this good life. I'm breathing on God's time, and I ain't gonna waste one breath. And on the top, I said, "Life is beautiful. Live life in such a way that life itself has a crush on you. Don't have a crush on anybody else. Have a crush on yourself. Love yourself. Care about yourself. Help each other. Care about one another, and especially the real ones who are out there." So thank you to Abdul Nagmouche for making this beautiful photo of me with those beautiful words in it.
Anything? By the way, did you get that new video I sent you?
Yes, I have. I have seen. Yes, I got I saw in the email. Yeah.
I made the change that you want me to make.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Still trying to find this video. Well, not video. There's a picture.
I hope everyone out there is staying healthy. Quarantine. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm happy because the parks are reopening in Ontario. I can't thank Doug Ford enough, our leader of Ontario, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, especially all around the country, in the United States and England, everywhere. They're doing very good. Is that Derek Jeter?
No. That would be Jacob DeGrom.
Oh my good! That's how close you were.
That's how close I was.
Well, you must. Did you spend a lot of money on those tickets, or you get them off the
two tickets for $20?
Holy shit, man! Good luck. Anyone in Canada is crazy. Well, unless you go to the Jays game.
But
wow,
$20 for the seats section 500. Dad,
Yeah, but we were pretty close in the NL or AL CS playoffs.
AL American League because you spent over $200. Remember?
Yeah.
That was worth it.
Was it the Batista bat flip? We were there.
No, we were there for
my twin.
The Kansas City. Yeah, the Kansas City. Where are you, Kansas City? Kansas City
Royals.
Yeah, the Royals. Yeah, we were there for the Royals when Encarnacion hit that 3-run shot. And my dad, I'm telling you, I still remember that day. And even if I have Alzheimer's in the future, I hope I don't, I will remember that jump. He jumped, I'm talking about 15 feet up in the air. And I'm just looking like slow motion. Like it was crazy. That was a great moment.
You like that, eh?
That was like, shoot, up in the air,
The only time I really root for Toronto, because I don't follow Toronto like that anymore, but the only time I really root for Toronto, the Blue Jays, is anytime they play Texas. I hate Texas. I hate the Rangers. Like anytime they play the Rangers, I just sit there and laugh and say, "Oh, where's Joey Bats when you need him?"
Who's watching UFC tonight?
It just UFC tonight, is there?
Yeah, 250.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Corey Gilbert knocked out. I can never say Asunakao. Sean O'Malley walk-off KO.
I missed it. That sucks.
Who's the main event?
Amanda Nunes. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the whole results.
How much?
Are they still fighting?
Yeah,
possibly. Hold on. Yeah, but you don't want to pay for the ending.
No, I don't pay for it. I watch it on my Fire Stick.
I know. Who does it? Oh, I have my connection. I watch it on my phone.
The only time I paid for the UFC and WWE WrestleMania was Undertaker, Triple H, and special guest referee Shawn Michaels, and the Brock Lesnar when Brock Lesnar got his butt knocked down.
Okay, so right now the main event is going on, and so the co-main event. I'll go from the beginning. So the first match was Sean O'Malley versus Eddie Winland. Sean O'Malley knocked him out with wow. He knocked him out in 1 minute and 54 seconds into the first round.
Holy crap!
And then you had the Neil McGaney versus Anthony Rocco Martin. That went to decision. McGaney took that one. The next one was the bantamweight fight between Aljamain Sterling and Corey Sandhagen. Rear naked choke, 1 minute and 28 seconds into the first round.
Holy
for Sterling. And then you had the co-main event, which was Corey Garbrandt versus Rafael I could never say his name. Asuncao. And he got knocked out in the second round with 1 second left.
Oh, wow.
He lost the match on the second round at the 4 minute and 59 second time limit.
How does that pot? Can't they save it?
If
Was
he
he
is
knocked out? Knocked out?
He was knocked out.
So he's done. Okay.
Put the video up.
I don't think I pulled the video up yet. I don't think I can.
I don't think you can. It's too early.
Oh, I can always find a way.
This guy has connections. Like
right now, the main event is going on. I mean, I could pull up the actual fight, but YouTube will not allow that.
No.
All right. So let's see.
Last thing I need is problems. I want to thank actually to the 700 subscribers. It means a lot, guys. You know, last year we were at 150, and now we're at 700. So we're doing pretty damn good, actually.
Oh, wow.
The
Good for you, man.
And thank you to the other 3K who follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and all that. Altogether, we have 5K. We're doing pretty good for the Booney believers and the fans. Support us. We're all one nation, under one God, and under one country. And thank you all. Seriously.
Let me know when you're ready. I'm going to share my stream right now.
Ready.
All right. It's not the best quality, but it's quality.
How long is this?
10 seconds.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
And that was right at the bell.
Luckily, there's no fans there to pay for tickets.
But you hear, I know you couldn't hear it there, but you hear everybody that's there that's standing around because they let the other UFC fighters watch the fights.
Yeah,
you know, and then they have the coaches and everything. You hear everybody go, "Oh, he's asleep! He's asleep!"
Holy crap!
I mean, but he literally, as he's punching him and he's falling down, you hear the horn go off for the bell.
Oh wow, it's good. It's bad for the viewers. It sucks because it's just one punch and it's over. You want to see a fight. You want to see a fight, right?
Well, that was the end of the second round, though. That was the end of the second round.
Oh, okay.
He got knocked out at the end of the second round, and he had the way it was showing. He had Corey Garbrandt that entire match. Like he was taking him down to the ground. He was hitting those leg kicks. He was hitting behind the knees. He was messing Corey Garbrandt up, and all of a sudden, Corey just came with that wild haymaker, and it just connected.
That's all it takes, man. That's all it takes. Yeah. I want to see the next when Habib fights.
Who's he fight? Who is the next one he fights?
He fights what's his name because he's the interim champion right now. He won last week.
So right now they're saying that this was as of 2 minutes ago. Spencer, who's fighting Amanda Nunes, she is 2 rounds down as they head into the third. Her best chance of winning right now is to likely arrive now and into the 4th and 5th round. But they're saying that she's barely showing anything at this point.
Wow.
Let's see if I can pull it up on my phone. If I can pull it up on my phone, it'd be cool.
Meister.
What's that?
Do you like Khabib?
I love him. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I love that. I just with the Conor thing, I kind of
he's a beast. He's a beast
for both of them at that time.
Conor sucks. Sorry.
He wants to say the other one. Like
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Oh, wait, let me put you.
When you listen to me right now. When you have a complete fighter that knows how to ground grapple, okay, and do all that, versus a person just knows how to stand up, they have no chance. And Habib can do both. When you get a pet bear and you're wrestling with them when you're like 7 years old, like, come on, man.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, yeah, kind of don't have a chance with this man. This man was playing with bears. Bears.
You got to watch this video. I don't know how to do these things that you guys are doing, but there's one video you got to watch.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Are you just playing around now?
Sorry, no, I was just doing something. Yeah.
No, you're good.
I saw the video with Khabib, with the bear.
I'm trying to pull up this fight, see if I can see it live right now. Oh, there it goes. Oh my gosh. I will let you hear it.
Really making it look like a glorified sparring training session, just reacting perfectly in every moment.
Here's some connections, man.
Just to let you know, I did not pay for this.
Spencer's fight with the Cyborg certainly a lot more competitive through 13 minutes than this one. Yes, for sure.
And I'll give you a quick snippet of how good the quality is.
The Cyborg fight, she actually had her moments.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
Against Amanda Nunes.
Can you hear that okay?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, and it's starting to hurt her.
Oh,
and now a head kick for good measure. My goodness. She's just beating her up now. She just looks sensational.
She's literally tossing her around like a rag doll.
My goodness.
I wanna share something with the viewers out there and the fans.
It was the kick she threw against Cyborg earlier that knocked her off balance.
If you can
Go for it, brother. Go ahead, I'm muting it.
Is my brother Mohammed Saya. I talked to him today. He's doing a lot better. We sent some food to University Hospital in London, Ontario, Canada, and he's doing a lot better. He can talk now. Like, he's doing really good. He's just a couple things that are complicated, but he's doing really well, and I really appreciate all the prayers out there. And he'll be watching this video later on. So to Brother Mojo, you are a fighter, and you keep continuing on what you do, and I can't wait to go back to the Knights games. And hey, next year we're booking Hollywood. I don't know if you're going to come, Noel, but we're going to WrestleMania next year. All three of us. It's going to be a great time.
Oh, depending on where I'm at.
So
but I'm down. Yeah, God bless your brother. Hoping that he does continue to get better and be on that rise, because where he's at right now, it's great to see that he's a lot better than he was before.
Thank you.
Inshallah. Yeah.
Everybody it's unbelievable where people start. You look at from Vancouver, where he started, where he ended up, and doctors telling him finish left. Unfortunately, the doctors are wrong, and thank God for it. Same with my brother. They thought he was done. Well, look, he's doing better. He's focusing. He has a beautiful mustache that is looking better than me. I mean, he's looking fresh. So thank you all for your prayers. Thank you, Jessica, too.
I'm just gonna let you know. Amanda Nunes just finished off that last round with a backhanded spin fist. Hit Spencer right in the face.
Oh.
Spencer looked at her, smiled, and said,
Where are they fighting? Are they fighting at the performance?
So they're fighting. They have what it's called the UFC Apex. It's like their headquarters, but it's down the street from the MGM, and it's basically like how the WWE is doing their performances right now, where everything's done at their performance center. So it's kind of the same thing. And right now, Amanda Nunes, if she keeps fighting the way she's fighting right now, this is going to be an easy win for her. This girl is, I'll be 100% honest with you, she's way overweight. She looks like she's way overweight for this fight. Like, she looked like, because if you looked at her yesterday in the weigh-in, she does not look the same. She looks like she literally ate a couple of pounds after. No, I'm serious. Like, how they can tell when you put that weight on after a weigh-in, to get that more powerful hit. Oh, yeah. She's got full-fledged going right now, and you can tell that it's gassing her. It's gassing her like crazy. Because she'll throw a punch, and then you'll see the mouth wide open like she's trying to breathe.
Wow.
And she's bruised up, a couple of bruises on the face. Nose looks fine. She's moving to straight right to the face, knocked her into the cage. And if you would like, I'll put it back on volume for you. That's all up to you.
Yeah, sure. We've got a few minutes left. I'm going to go in for another few minutes.
Polished and ruthless.
Felicia Spencer does not want to take one more of those leg kicks. You can see every time Amanda feints at the leg, she starts to lift it, hoping that when she kicks, she's going to be able to check it.
And again, it's amazing to think back to that Cyborg fight and how in it Spencer was throughout. The look in her eyes through those 15 minutes and just getting totally outclassed by them.
Cyborg's always been a power
She's
striker.
literally just taking her down and looking at her saying, get back up.
Amanda Nunes,
Noel, I want to ask you a question.
she gets out of the way as well.
Go for it.
That last one hurt.
So for the $25 stream yards per month, can you go live on multiple?
On where?
Can you go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time?
Yeah.
So this can be on Facebook as well?
Mm-hmm. You can do two outlets at the same time. It explains everything when you go through the whole 9 yards.
This one, the free one, the basic one is just YouTube.
Yeah, no, you can actually use Twitch on this also. But
Facebook on here doesn't work.
So whatever you connect it to is what it's going to connect to. But for the $25 one, yeah, you can do two basically two of them at the same time. So if you're on YouTube now, you can also be on Facebook at the same time.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Like I said, you have that video for your intro, which I made the correction for it. If you want me to make you a little bit of an outro, I could do that too. I think you're gonna go. Like I said, this is just the beginning for you. TSN is gonna be calling.
I hope so.
My dad said the other day, they were actually, I might even play that video. On Sunday, we went for a barbecue, and he's sitting next to me there and all that. And I think he said something about, maybe he didn't, but he was telling me before we get the video, he said, you're going to go places. And like Noel says, TSN's going to knock on your door.
Hey, man, you just got to be patient and follow your dreams.
That's all that is, That's all it is.
Yep, that's literally what it is. You
do what you love. Do what you love.
Oh, I hate it when they do this.
Let me play one more thing before we leave, guys. I like to see if it's gonna work. Next to me, my father, my. Let's see. I want to play this because my dad, he's a promiser. He promises you he's going to come on. He's going to come on. Even he was working, he still came on and had some respect for the show, Can you guys hear that? To Joe Sports Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I have my fellow Canadian brother next to me, my father, Moormeister. How you doing, Moormeister? Great. How are you, man? I'm doing good. I want to thank you for last night's show. It was absolutely phenomenal having a father and son talk on that show. What went through your head, and what do you think about StreamYard yourself?
First of all, it was a pleasure being on your show. Second, StreamYard is a great platform to stream anything on, sports in itself. But your show is phenomenal. You follow your dreams, you keep doing what you're doing, you'll go all the way. Like we said yesterday, you'll be on TSN in the near future. I love the aspect of all different types of sports, basketball, baseball, football, UFC. You talk about everything. You know everything about everything. So, yeah, if you keep on doing what you're doing, you'll go all the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate those words. And you know what? Like yesterday, it felt like the least sweet because knowing that, a son is hosting a show and he's bringing his father on as a guest, that's more than a privilege. So that is a godsend to this world. So thank you very much. You take care of yourself. Thank you for dinner. Beautiful barbecue, like you said last night. The facts matter. You look good, and hopefully see you very soon on the show.
Next week, buddy. Next week I'll be on.
And here he is. Next week later, he's on the show.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Guys, you have anything else to say? It's getting late here. I can go for a couple more minutes.
They're hitting the final round. That's all I can say right now.
They're hitting the final round.
I'm gonna go watch the rest of it, and hope to see you next week, maybe.
Thank you, man, and I'll see you.
I'll be on earlier. I'm just dealing with some stuff right now. So.
Well, thank you for taking your time out and watching Booney and Noel and all that. And I wanted to tell you, you should open your show one day. You should. You're really educated on the sports and have like a weather Mo Meister's weather network, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Just think about it. Just put some some stuff in your head and just think about it. You're really educated. You really are.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Take care, Dad.
Take care.
I'm on myself.
Yeah.
So awesome having a father on the show of, the one who we made, this guy. Yeah. And I think I'm okay. I think I'm all right. I try to help each other.
You're great, brother. You are great.
I appreciate it, man. All I want is from people to be happy. Like I said today to one of my friends from, North Dakota. I said, if somebody gave me a $20 bill, I wouldn't accept, but I would accept you're sweet, you're beautiful, you're handsome, you're good looking. I hope you have a great day. Words like that stay in the heart. That $20 bill comes and goes. So I'd rather hear little words like that. Those little words can change a person so much and so fast. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, the littlest things make a difference, brother.
And like, let me go, like Jessica, just glad to hear your brother's doing well. That's like somebody, it's better than $1 million. I swear to you, it's better than $1 million. Just hearing those, and she means it in the bottom of her heart. Thank you so much, sister. It means a lot. It really is. It's just life right now. We are kind of locked down, but we make this choice on what's next for us as a family. We are all family. We're under one country, and let's just try to go straight. And people have been asking me the last few weeks, Joe, what is your take on this virus and where do you think it's going to go? I just say, you know what? Think positive. Alhamdulillah, I'm living this. I'm waking up every day. I'm drinking fresh water. I'm eating fresh food. I'm seeing my family, my loved ones. I'm talking to my best friend, my best man one day. He's going to be my best man, I swear to God. And just going to be my best girl. We're going to make a best girl for that night too. I'm blessed. Yeah, we're down and out. But then again, there's other countries that are struggling a lot more than what we're going through. So it is a test. It's a blessing. Alhamdulillah. So we got to look at that. We got to look at what's actually provided for us in this world: food, water, groceries, family. And family is everything in life. This coronavirus, like I said, it's bad, but it's not killing everybody. But you know what? There's people dying every day. Innocent people dying every day. People dying innocent. And I want to bring something up before I go. Actually, this was on Facebook, and it was really, really sweet. Actually, let me see if I can get it up. You can take over the show for a minute, Noel, if you want.
And say what?
I don't know. I'm looking something up. I don't want people to be quiet. What the hell's happened? Everybody's leaves.
No, we're good.
But
I think today was a great show. Especially listening to Sicilian's story. Talking about the sports at the same time. This is what's a great show. Makes a great show is the fact of that the diversity of the conversation and keeping the conversation diverse, going from something very serious to sports, and then even at that, just joking and talking about your father and how much your father supports you and how he says that type of stuff right there. That shows what this show is. It's more than just Joe's Sports Channel. It's more than just Joe's Sports. It's literally just Joe's, because Joe's conversations, they can go from one way to another. And the thing is that in those conversations, every little piece of that conversation is great between whoever's having it.
For sure. Like, did you listen to the whole story? You and Jess?
Yes, I did. We both did. Yeah.
It was emotional. I couldn't believe it, and having a person share that on my show, that's like the means of the world to me. That's probably the best of the best I've ever heard on my show. So that really means a lot. This is from actually the Quran, the Bible. Whoever kills an innocent life, Whoever kills an innocent, it is as if he has killed all humanity.
Yeah.
And that's in one of our surahs in the Bible, and it makes sense. Like whoever kills an innocent life, it is as if he has killed all humanity, and it's true. It really is true, you know. So just like saying that is very powerful, you know. So I don't care if you are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, atheist, Buddhist, whatever. We're all God's kids. When we cut ourselves, we bleed red. We don't bleed green, orange, you know. So I'm just sending a message out there that we got to all come together, seriously. And enough is enough, okay?
Yeah.
With disrespecting other people and disrespecting cultures and all that. And let's just be happy, seriously. You know, we're in 2020, and let's just move forward in life, you know. It's a community, yeah. I want to put this out, yeah. It's a community.
2021 can't come soon enough.
You know what? 2020 is all right. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm wearing my nice Gucci suit. You know what I mean? I have you. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I got Jessica. I got a lot of people that support me left and right every day. Like it's unbelievable. People call me every day and thank me. I had somebody the other day actually calling to my just called in. It was Sunday. It was last week, a week tomorrow, and he was just saying, "I love your show. Keep up doing that." I said, "Where are you from?" He says, "From Toronto." And he asked me a few questions here. Now I'm not going to share on here, but it's a couple questions. He says, "Yeah, we just need to come together." And I'm just, you know, you gotta just try to focus, you know, because I don't care where you come from. You know, we're all human, human, and when you kill innocent, it's like killing all humanity. So that's all I asked for, you know. But thank you so much, guys, for tonight's show. It really means a lot, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend. And just thank you all, and thank you, Jess. Seriously, thank you very much for everything. Appreciate it.
All right, my brother. I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you the next time.
I will, and I'll talk to you very soon. I'll probably talk to you off air. But before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, you all should know what we're going to stand up. You can leave, you can stay, wherever you want. He's already getting up. That's what I love about him. To my fellow American, fellow Canadians out there, I want to thank you guys once again for coming on Joe's Sports Channel. Always blessed having a long TV. May the Lord give everybody the blessing. May everyone come together under one country and under one unit. Thank you guys all. Amen. Thank you for watching Joe's Sports Channel. We'll see you next weekend.